I was gonna wait till tomorrow to do one of these lives, but seems as how I've worried people in town, I kind of just disappeared for the week. Um, I wanted to come on here and make sure that everyone knew that I was okay. I'll start off by saying that someone keeps leaving. It's the same. It's a different account. They've done it twice, calling me out, saying that I'm isolated because I called Gabe Hoffman out as being Mossad. I've never said that Gabe Hoffman is Mossad, ever. I don't believe it. He works under Michael Aquino. Michael Aquino was CIA. He wasn't Mossad. And so I kind of have a glare. Maybe that's a little bit better. Because it's wintertime, I had to move back up into my room. And my rooms are small, so it kind of gets congested. But I believe that Gabe Hoffman works under Michael Aquino. Michael Aquino doesn't work for Mossad. Michael Aquino works for the CIA. I believe that Thomas Schoenberger is CIA. I believe Gabe Hoffman, again, is CIA, not Mossad. I didn't agree with everything, obviously, that Isaac Cappy said. And I didn't know a whole lot about what he was involved with when he was alive because he was more interested in Aquino. My contention is just for the simple fact that he had 4 of Michael Aquino's phone numbers and he was harassing the shit out of Michael Aquino with those 4 phone numbers was enough to get him murdered, which is what I told him in our last conversation. You know, I just didn't see the point of him calling and harassing Michael Aquino, and I knew where it would I knew where it would go. I have gotten mentions. I've stopped looking at them, and now the emails that I get, I just fucking block. I take screenshots to show that I got them, and then I report them as junk. Because this last week, it is funny because I have been tempted spiritually a couple times now. And I mean hard. The first example is I had people who told me, why don't you take them up on their offer? Why don't you let them give you $2,500 so I can pay my taxes and I don't lose my house at the first of the year and just take all my shit down? And they offered. Why didn't I accept it? My first reaction was fuck no. But I have to say that I had to think about it. And I had to actually consider it because who said it was counsel that I appreciate. And so I had to think about it. And I realized that making a deal with the devil never goes well. And I know that for the most part right now, I stand alone. There's a handful of you out there who actually stand with me. But for the most part, and I do it because it's the right thing. What I'm doing is the right thing. They can call me a grifter all they want. I never even asked for a dime of donations until 2 years ago. You know, way back when I was in Seattle, I ended up trying to do a GoFundMe, but it didn't go. I didn't promote it. I didn't do anything with it. Didn't do anything with it. They'll say that, oh, he had a GoFundMe account, but nothing was raised. And then I just kind of dismissed it. So really, for the last 2 years is the first time I've ever asked for anything. And I watch podcasts and I watch shit on YouTube, and every single one of them asks for contributions and donations. So I don't know why they're going up my ass about it, calling me a grifter, when that's not the case at all. I don't charge for my blog. The extended version of my book is free on my blog. None of my videos are monetized. But I realized that taking blood money from these assholes in order to save my house would make me complacent and worse, complicit in the blood from trafficking children, just trafficking people in general, because it's not just children they're trafficking. They're trafficking anybody they fucking want. But children, are the focus. And so they can say I'm a grifter, but if I'm a grifter, I'm really bad at it because I've given so much shit away. But the first being tempted by the devil was, could I take them up on their offer? If I don't come up with $2,500, I'm going to lose my house. I am. I'm going to end up being homeless, and then they're going to take me out. And they know it. I know it. They think they have me. And maybe they do. But what I had to come to terms with is I have to at least give God a chance. You know what I'm saying? I have to at least have faith, because every nasty fucking thing they've tried to do to me has failed thus far. And I've seen God work miracles in my own life. And even if it came down to me losing this house, which over $2,500 is just, it's just so wrong. It's so wrong. But when I was going through the divorce at the beginning, I thought my life was over. And never could I have seen at the time how much I would blossom after the divorce. And so no matter what happens, I have faith. I have faith. And I'm not going to sell out to the devil. Yeah, it's $2,500 for taxes. I worked a year, so my taxes were high, and then they murdered my friend, which threw me over off the edge for a while anyway. But then I've had to deal with just the bombardment of attacks, them breaking into my house, stealing that computer. I can't leave my house. They want to burn my house down. They post videos of it all the time. They send me shit all the time. That's the whole thing. And they have me isolated. And they think that, me talking about Gabe Hoffman is what isolated me. No, them hanging flyers all over town, falsely calling me a pedophile with my address and my name and my picture, served to isolate me. That was what it was meant to do. And it's all because they're hiding their child trafficking operation. So the second test that I went through this week was, I was told by someone, again, who's I value, it came from a couple people actually. I do call the police. My sheriff is involved. They know it. The sheriff does not help. Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross serves them, not me. His deputies are the ones getting filmed hanging up those flyers in the square downtown. His deputies. So the police are helping them because they're involved with the meth operation. So they, and all of this has been documented, because all of this bullshit has been going on for a little over 2 years. And it's all documented on this channel, and it's all documented on my blog. I've been doing this. It has been so in people's faces that it's been in so many people's faces that it's hard to, you know, it's hard to ignore. I've documented. People have seen it. They've watched it. So the second part was I was told, well, why don't you just call ICE on the Mexican munchkin who's basically stole my glasses and then had to laugh at me about it? Because that's what they do. They, on both sides, they do their shit and then they taunt me. Because I guess they want me to have an emotional reaction out in public. I guess that's what they're looking for. I'm not going to give that to them. I wouldn't give them the satisfaction. But that's how I know it's them, because they go out of their way to taunt me about it. And I was at the grocery store. I hadn't been there more than 15 minutes, and then all of a sudden the Mexican munchkin shows up. And so I had to think about that. And I realized that enlisting the devil to help me solve an issue that I have with one of my fellow men is also wrong. I could justify it in my anger and the fact that it's such a violation for them coming into my house whenever the fuck they want, doing whatever they want in my house. And it's such a violation that I could justify, oh, he deserves it. He deserves it. I have no relatives. All of them are dead, except one, and she's involved with the bad shit and the bad guys. There's only the two of us left. But I do have people in town. That's why I'm doing this live, because fuck, I made one of my friends cry because they were so worried about me, because that they hadn't heard from me in days. But it was because I did a bunch of shit in my yard that was all manual labor for days, and then having to sit back and actually, so I thought about it, and enlisting the devil to solve my problems, I couldn't do it. And does the dickhead deserve it? That's debatable. But the chaos and pain and suffering that I would cause by calling ICE to not just that person, but everyone around that person, is just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. And what I realized was, no, I'm not gonna call ICE. I'm not gonna do any of that shit. You know, I just have to deal with it as it is. I can't stop it, but I'm also not gonna do nasty, evil shit to try. And this has all been, and the reason why I've taken time off is because there has been serious thought to both of these things. I have given serious thought to both of these things and contemplated all of it. And in the end, when I finally made my choice, it felt like I had just been tested spiritually and had come through. Because I may become homeless, I may lose everything over $2,500, but I will never be complacent or complicit with this group of fucking child killers. And taking all my shit down would only serve to help them hide their shit so that it can continue. If what I have tried to expose was just only and solely about my own abuse, I would have left this shit in the dirt years ago. Because who wants to deal with it? But this happened to others, and it's still happening. And so I'm obligated to do what I'm doing. And this is worse than a full-time job because it's just nonstop. Nonstop. You know? In fact, they can email me 10 times at 2 o'clock in the morning. I've just turned my notifications down. So, you know, thank you, Robin. I have God, you know. At the point, this has just been such a test of faith. It has been a test of faith. Still is a test of faith. And it has been freaking hard, you know? I'm a gay guy who hasn't done anything because of my faith. I've been celibate since my divorce. And not saying that being gay is against God or anything. I'm not even going there. It's just, for me, I never want to have another relationship. And so therefore, there's no reason to go date anybody because I don't want to have another relationship. Been there, done that, didn't like it. Don't want to do it again. And because of that, I just, you know, it's easier for me to just stay alone on so many more levels. Because really, being isolated at this moment in time with all of the shit that they're doing to me, it's just safer for everyone around. You know, not getting people involved. And so it's just, in a way, it's easier to be isolated than have to worry about people. And if you have people come into your life, fuck, they just murdered Owen and laughed about it. And I know they were in town because I was making a video at 11 o'clock the morning of Owen's funeral, and someone tried to bust into my house. It was just I was here. When I'm here, you can't get into my house now without him making noise. I have it set up. I may not be able to stop you from coming in, but you won't be able to do it secretly either while I'm here. And but the threats and the games and the whole Thomas Schoenberger donated $10 from an account that I know is him. And that was the thing is that here I am contemplating, you know, their offer of we'll pay your taxes and save your house, take everything down. Here I am talking, and then he sends me $10 from an account I know is him. And so I refunded it immediately. And that was what solidified it in my mind. I won't willingly accept blood money. You know, I won't willingly accept blood money. And again, it was just another taunt because it wasn't coincidental. All of it happens all at once. It's coincidence after coincidence after coincidence after coincidence after coincidence stops being a series of coincidences and starts to become a pattern. That's what it is with these dumbasses. That's the reason why if anybody ever investigated their stupid shit, they would find out because they brag about everything. They bragged about murdering Owen, you know? They bragged about coming into my house and stealing that computer. They bragged that Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross serves them and protects them. They brag about all of it. And people will say, oh, well, if they're bragging about it online, chances are they're not doing it. Dude, they're filming themselves hanging up those fucking flyers. So they're doing crimes while they're filming themselves and posting it online, you know? So that doesn't even make sense. And so, and this is what they do to victims. This is what they do to their targets. I'm not the first. I'm not the only. It's just, I'm outspoken, you know, and point it out. This child trafficking bullshit involves the CIA. Michael Aquino was heavily involved in all of it. Gabe Hoffman, who's right under Michael Aquino, does not work for Mossad. He works for the CIA. The CIA is not based in Israel. And I don't think the CIA is all Jewish. So you can't throw the victim card down. I'm not calling you out for being a member of Mossad. I'm calling Gabe Hoffman out for being involved with the CIA. Just like Michael Aquino. Just like Thomas Schoenberger. Just like Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. Why do I call him out? Because his co-founder of the Satanic Temple, Shane Bugbee, said Doug Mesner, aka Lucian Greaves, one of his many aliases, told him he was working with the CIA. That's the reason why Shane Bugbee bugged out of the whole Satanic Temple bullshit. CIA. Craig Sawyer works for Aquino. CIA, known as the Sawman. I believe that at the behest of Michael Aquino, Thomas Schoenberger, and Craig Sawyer murdered Isaac Cappy. And it was Corey Daniel, aka Phoenix Enigma, and Daniel Dowd, aka Pootie Twang, the one who posted live videos of my town when my friend Owen ended up dead. Was he the one trying to get into my house the day of Owen's funeral? Chances are, whoever was posting those live videos of my town, had they gotten into my house, what you want to bet they would have had a live video over it, you know? And who sent it? Daniel Dowd. Daniel Dowd and Corey Daniel are the ones who put Isaac Cappy's dead-ass corpse on that bridge. Isaac wasn't alive on that bridge. Then with all the other child traffickers of Sewertown, that Chavez, Manuel Chavez, who goes as DeFango, Jesse Davis, Tara Joyce, who's friends with the barely legal porn people in Las Vegas, you know? Geo Farnsworth, not his real name. But it was their plant, Glenna, who was the one who sent me that paperwork showing that I called in about Jacob Wetterling. She's the one who told me about the 1,000 missing kids in Ohio. And she's the one who told me that Geo was in Ohio. That's where I got the whole Geo Farnsworth is in Ohio. When he was bragging about fucking murdering Owen, he was fine with that. But now that I've called him out and made such an issue, now he's no longer in Ohio. Now he's in Maryland, you know? But before, he was more than willing to say that he was in Ohio. Thought it was funny. Just like he thought it was funny. Maybe he didn't murder Owen. But the question is, why did he take credit for it? And someone was in my town making those videos and posting them on that Pootie Twang account that was Daniel Dowd's account on YouTube. You know? Someone was posting those live videos. Maybe it was my sheriff or his deputies. They're the ones who got filmed hanging up the flyers. What text saying he said it, not me? Is this you, Gabe? Because God only knows. You guys have so many alias accounts and fake ass accounts. You know? The shit that I'll put is the comment that was left on my videos twice. Yesterday and today, I blocked the person twice. They came back with a variation of their name. You know? I don't think Gabe Hoffman is part of Mossad. I don't think Michael Aquino was part of Mossad. I think they're part of CIA. CIA is not Jewish. So to actually say that Gabe Hoffman is part of the CIA, I don't see how that's anti-Semitic. That's just stating a fucking fact. And that's the issue. That's the issue. Because they want it to be anti-Semitic. I don't believe Gabe Hoffman is part of Mossad. Whether or not he has contacts or not, who the fuck can say? Maybe. He seems to have lots of contacts. But he works under Michael Aquino, and Michael Aquino was CIA. That means Gabe Hoffman was CIA. You know? Thomas Schoenberger is definitely CIA. Lucian Greaves, definitely connected and working for the CIA. That comes from other people. And all of it is about this child trafficking bullshit, which all of you seem to be enmeshed in. I'm not the only one. Fuck, you're the Gabe Hoffman is the wonder about all this child trafficking. And if he's not, Corey Daniel is. They can tell you everything there is to know about everything. Of course, it doesn't go anywhere. Doesn't lead anywhere. Just kind of festers out into nothing. Because it's meant for that to happen. This child trafficking bullshit needs to be investigated. And it needs to be stopped. And it's not a huge group of people. The people that I know that are involved with this, small fucking core group. Small core group. It's not everyone and everything. They would like you to think that. But that's not the case at all. Oh, they can hire people to do nasty shit. And they do. Lowlives who have no integrity and no sense of anything other than their own want. And the anger that they don't have what they feel they deserve. You know? Those people are easy to buy off. Get to do nasty shit. The people in my neighborhood aren't doing what they're doing because they are involved in their cause. They're doing it because they're getting paid. And they brag about it all the time. They brag about all their shit. You know? I think Isaac Cappy was murdered. Well, one, because he wouldn't shut up about that homeless camp on the border of Arizona. Wouldn't shut up about it. But he also pissed off. God only knows what the fuck he was saying, Michael Aquino. The dude was impetuous. And that's the reason why I didn't want to work with him. I believe that it's that, most of all, that got him killed. And the sad part about it is, in the end, when he was making that video and there were people in that room with him hurting that dog and all of that shit, I know he had to have thought in his head, that what he had been told, not just by me, but by other people. I know Fiona told him the exact same thing. We knew exactly what would happen. He wouldn't listen. And in the end, what happened? Exactly what we told him would happen. They would show up at his door and he would not be happy when they did. And that's exactly what happened. These people will have murdered over their child trafficking bullshit. Do you think the stupid shit that they're doing to me is, they're beyond that? You know? You can, to be quite honest, since you're in the UK, it's just cheapest to buy it off of Amazon. If you don't want to buy it off of Amazon, and I mean, they say that I'm a grifter, but if you're broke, it's not the one. Rabbit Hole, I was nominated for Book of the Year because of the editing of what they subtracted and what they added. I got nominated for Book of the Year. But if you're interested, you can read the extended version of Rabbit Hole. You can read everything I wrote for free on my blog, which I don't charge for. Again, if I'm a grifter, I'm really bad at it, you know, because it's never been about making money. It's just that, fuck, I'm in a dire situation. Let alone I'm broke. Someone donated. I actually got, a friend of mine donated something about $30. I went to the store and bought 4 things, and it was $23. You know, 4 things, and they weren't extravagant things either. One of them was a thing of barbecue sauce. You know, you know. It's on Amazon, so you can buy it on Amazon. You can also buy the audio version of it. But it's all on Amazon. So thank you. If I'm going to probably get off here at this point, unless, I mean, nobody donates. Usually just small, and that's fine because everyone's hurting. If you want to donate, right now it goes for food, unless someone donates $2,500 and then it will go completely to my taxes. But I don't see that happening. But I'll put the Buy Me a Coffee link in, and then my Amazon or my PayPal and my Venmo are both at D Shurter. So it's just capital D and then my last name, capital D, capital S, Hurter. And the D and the S are capitalized. The rest of it is small. That's my PayPal and my Venmo. Right now it just goes for groceries. I will tell you that dog treats. You know what's irritating about that whole thing about them saying that I beat Sarah? It is a situation that I told Cheryl Lynn. Of course, she's involved with the Famalam thing, along with my stepmother. So now they're going to run around. The whole story was, I don't ever abuse animals, and I only abused a dog once. And there was so extenuating, there was so many circumstances. There were issues around it. Hadn't slept 36 hours straight. I was exhausted from fucking doing huge manual labor as a banquet waiter for Easter weekend, and Sarah had eaten my floor. You know? I'm not mitigating the whole situation. It was an awful situation, but in my whole life, it's only ever happened once, and it was because I was near having a nervous breakdown. I was so exhausted. And that floor. Sarah was a trip. She was what saved me, though. But that was the one and only time ever, you know? But then they'll run and say that I fucking molested that Hester's. Eric's name isn't Hester, by the way. It's Brett's. But Eric is 3 years younger than I am, and Mark is 8 years younger than I am. But they're running around trying to suggest that I molested my nephews when they were children, when I was an adult. How is that even possible? One is 3 years younger than I am, less than 3 years younger than I am, and one is 8 years younger than I am. So how did I have a time machine? But that's the kind of bullshit I have to deal with. Also, that they can try and discredit me and protect their fucking child trafficking operation. And it's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit that a bunch of fucking pedophiles think that I should be defensive. And of course, everybody wants me to defend myself over the stupid shit they say, you know? But never once does it occur to anybody, well, maybe they're saying it because even though it's a lie, they're saying it because they're trying to protect their fucking child trafficking operation, which is just what I've been saying the whole time. You can go read everything in my blog. I never contradict myself. That's what people tell me all the time who have listened to me for years. I never contradict myself. Well, you don't when you're telling the truth. When all you have to do is recall the past, it's pretty easy. And it's the same every time. You know? Because history is static. There's no fucking Mandela effect in my life. You know? What happened yesterday then is the same then as it was the day afterwards, a week afterwards, a month afterwards, a year afterwards, decades after. It's the same fucking thing. What happened then still has happened. Nothing's changed because it's static. It's in the past. So it's easy to recall. And that's all I've been doing. The fact that these rich assholes who, before he even made Satanic Temple a non-profit, Doug Mesner spent, over $100,000 to make that stupid ass devil statue? They can do stupid shit like that. But me, I'm about ready to become homeless over $2,500. You know? Yeah, it has been a dark night of the soul. But no matter what happens, our integrity sells for so little, so much of the time. I don't want mine to be for sale. And it's not. It's not. And it doesn't have anything to do with pride. It's integrity. You know? Fuck, integrity should matter. It's sad that it doesn't. I'm at 38 minutes. I'll probably do another one tomorrow. I'll try to do another one. I'm sorry if I worried anybody. I'm fine. But it's also fucking Halloween. Samhain sucks. This is when it all begins. And people can deny it all they want, you know? But you tell your kids not to accept candy from strangers except for the fucking day we worship the fucking devil, and then you send them to every pedophile's house they can to get all the loot they can. It's just bizarre. We live in crazy fucking days.